This is the Making and Selling Sticker Series. It can be tricky to figure out what platform is best to sell your products on. I'm gonna talk about what I have experience with, and that's Shopify and Etsy. I currently use both, but I primarily use Shopify. Just to start with, I wanna list the differences between the two, because you'll start to quickly see why you might choose one over the other. Starting with subscription fees. Etsy has a free plan that will definitely suffice for anyone getting started. They also have a plus plan for $10 a month for access to more tools, like some basic level shop customization and email marketing tools. Basic Shopify starts out at a steeper $39 per month billed yearly, but everything you need is included in that cost. They do have more expensive subscription options, but unless you're already a very established store, you won't need it. Etsy is already free, but Etsy Plus doesn't have a free trial. Shopify doesn't have a free trial, but they do have a pretty solid deal of $1 a month for the first 3 months. For Etsy, it costs 20 cents to list a product, and that listing will stay up for 4 months, or until the item sells out, whichever is sooner. You then have to pay another 20 cents if you want to relist that item. You can list as many items as you want, but you'll just be paying 20 cents for each one. Shopify doesn't charge you anything to list products, and you can list as many as you want. For each Etsy sale, you pay a transaction fee of 6.5% of your listing price. Shopify doesn't charge you for simply selling an item. Etsy just recently increased their payment processing fees to 3% plus 25 cents. Shopify has a transaction fee of 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. However, if your customer pays via Shopify payments, there isn't a transaction fee. If your customer is paying a currency other than yours, you'll be charged a conversion fee. For Etsy, this is 2.5%. For Shopify, it's 1.5% in the US and 2% in all other countries. Both platforms offer discounts when purchasing labels through their platform, so I recommend printing all your labels at home because the savings are significant. Etsy offers advertising on their platform. You don't have to advertise, but it does help you reach potential buyers. And when you're just starting out, it could be a good way to kickstart things, especially when you don't have an existing audience on another platform. You can spend as little as $1 a day or as much as $25 a day. There's no built-in advertising on Shopify, so if you want to run ads, you'll need to run them through Facebook ads, Google ads, traditional out-of-home advertising, or other pay-per-click options. Moving on to the brand and audience aspects of these platforms. Etsy offers little to no customization. You can set your profile image and your banner, and that's about it. You're limited to their structure and layout, and there isn't much of an opportunity to build any kind of visual brand presence. They do offer another service called Etsy Pattern, which is essentially a website builder, but it's not part of their marketplace. So like a regular website, you'd need to drive your own traffic there, and it's $15 a month. You have a ton of customization options if you use Shopify. You could start with a pre-made template and customize it to reflect your brand, and it's really easy to use and has a lot of drag and drop features. You don't have to have any coding or development knowledge to use it. Just as I've been saying, Etsy offers no customization, so you won't be able to change or edit things with HTML or CSS. You can edit things with HTML and CSS with Shopify. If you want to get really deep into customization, you can and completely design and develop your own custom website. However, you'll have to be a designer and a developer or hire one to do this if you're going to go with the super custom option. If you want or have a custom domain, you won't be able to use it with Etsy, but you can with Shopify. A huge downside with Etsy is that you don't own your customer list. Etsy doesn't give you access to your customer emails, so you can't build a list and market to them. Like social media, you're basically at the mercy of their platform. Since Shopify is uniquely your own, you'll have all that info, and if you're building a brand, this is super important, especially as we've been seeing over the last few years. It's dangerous to put all of your faith in a platform as a means to reach your audience. Both platforms give you analytics, but Shopify is definitely more robust and gives you much more detailed insights. Since Etsy is a popular marketplace, it has its own consumer base. Using their platform allows you access to get in front of those shoppers. There's a chance people might find your products on Etsy organically, but if your niche is kind of saturated, you might need to run ads. With Shopify, it's up to you to drive traffic to your website since it's not a marketplace and people won't just go there to shop. You can drive people to your site through social media, advertising, or word of mouth. Both Shopify and Etsy offer integration with other platforms like Printful, Printify, Printed Mint, and lots of others. Shopify does have a lot more third-party apps because overall they just support a wider variety of functionality. One thing that I don't hear many people talk about is sales tax, and this is a big one. Etsy collects and remits sales tax for you, and speaking from experience, this is huge. It saves a lot of time, effort, and headaches. If you go with Shopify, you'll need to get a sales tax ID, and you'll need to collect and remit sales tax yourself. Recently, Shopify made this a bit easier to figure out, like how to calculate sales tax, because it varies per item, per state and per county. So there's a ton of rules and they're always changing, and for this reason alone, Etsy might be a better bet for those who are starting out. The learning curve to Shopify is quite a bit steeper than Etsy. So for those who are just starting out or just trying to see if this is something that they want to do, Etsy's probably a better option because there's a lot less setup. But if this isn't your first rodeo or you're more serious about the business side of things, Shopify has a lot of great features that most people would probably want, or at least want to transition to once you're established. If you're not very design inclined or don't really have any knowledge about web development, you might find yourself needing some assistance if you choose Shopify. The good news is that Shopify does have a partner program where they have Shopify experts, and it's pretty easy to hire a designer or a developer to help you out. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more content like this. If you have any questions, leave them below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.